Welcome back to Cocktails with Queens. Now it's October, so we're shining the spotlight on Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And here to help us kick off the importance of this month is food blogger and breast cancer survivor straight from Nashville, Tennessee, Marsha McDougal. Hello, Queen.
Welcome to the show.
How are you? Thank you so much for being here. We appreciate you. This is super important to us all. And I see you wearing your pink, so we all on the same page. Now, Marsha, on October 4th, you posted on Instagram that you've been breast cancer free for 5 years. You wrote, "Today marks 5 years since I heard the words, 'You have breast cancer.' On this exact day, 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with stage 2 triple negative breast cancer at the age of 32. Now you continued with, "Of course, I know my future always remains in God's hands, but for right now, I have a lot to celebrate and be thankful for." Can you talk about that?
Yes. So on October 4th in 2016, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. But the interesting part about my story was before I was diagnosed, my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. So about 3 months before I was diagnosed with breast cancer, she was diagnosed first. And so I was pregnant with my second child. And after you have your baby, you go back to the doctor for a follow-up to make sure, especially if you had a C-section, just to make sure everything's okay. And I remember mentioning to my doctor, "Hey, my mom just got diagnosed with breast cancer. Should I be concerned? Should I get a mammogram?" And my doctor said no. She said, "You're still young. So at this point, you don't have to be concerned. You don't have anything to worry about." So I left the doctor feeling, that, okay, I'm okay. And again, I'm 32 at the time. So about 3 to 4 weeks after that appointment, I'm breastfeeding my daughter at that time. She's 3 months old. I'm breastfeeding her and I feel a lump in my breast. And so immediately, just because my mom was currently going through treatment, immediately, I went to the doctor to have it checked out. And so they did a mammogram, they did an ultrasound of the area, and then they did a biopsy. And so I was actually on my way to Disney World for fall break with my kids and my rest of my family. And they said, "Hey, do you want me to call you with the results of the biopsy?" I said, "Yes. I don't care. If I'm at Disney World, just call me. I just need to know."
Yes.
And so they did call me on that day and said that you do have breast cancer. And it was stage 2 triple negative, which is a more aggressive type of breast cancer. So it was spreading really fast. So literally within like 2 weeks, I was in chemo. So I did chemotherapy. So me and my mom was actually going through treatments at the exact same time.
Wow.
So I did chemotherapy and I did radiation and a lumpectomy surgery.
Wow.
Did you feel that because you and your mom was going through it together, did you feel a sense of more support, or did that really make you feel another kind of way because you felt like maybe perhaps you were younger, or maybe she was older and it was okay for her? Like, how did you feel with with your mom going through it at the same time as you were?
I was going through a lot of different emotions at the same time, just because, like you said, I was so young, and I didn't think that I would have to worry about anything like, the big C word, cancer, until I got older. So, I was worried because me and my mom was going through it, but I had somebody to talk to, who was my mom, and her particular cancer was the same type as mine. So she went through the same type of treatments that I did. So she could kind of fill me in on what was going on and what to expect. But of course, she was 30 years older than me. So, her actual process was a little bit different, a little bit harder than it was on me. But I went through so many different emotions, Lisa, especially having young kids and being worried that you're not going to be here for your kids. It was
Let me ask this as part B. Did you feel like for just a second that she passed it down to you, that it was hereditary? Did you feel that for one moment?
Maybe for a little bit, but then I got the breast cancer genetic test. So it's called the BRCA test. And it's a test that you can get to see if the breast cancer gene has mutated inside of you. And so I got that test more so for my own kids, just to make sure to see if it's in in the gene, and the test came back negative for me. So yeah, that was kind of relief.
Very good for you.
Yeah.
So I have a question, Marsha. So, you know, being a mother of two, first of all, your baby now is 5, is the same age as as you have been a survivor. And there's several, and you've gone through chemotherapy, and there's several different types of medications that you probably have to take to kind of maintain or ward cancer away, like tamoxifen or things like that. Did you have to take any ongoing medications? Because sometimes they say those medications prevent you from getting pregnant again. So how did it affect you from deciding to how did this affect your decision to get pregnant again? And did you have to stop breastfeeding when you found out that you were diagnosed with cancer?
Great question. So yes, when I found out I was diagnosed with breast cancer back in 2016, I immediately had to stop breastfeeding immediately. So that was very disappointing, and that was very hurtful for me, but I just knew that I had to survive. So I was like, whatever I have to do. As far as the pills and the things that you can take to prevent it from coming back, I actually did not have to take tamoxifen. So there's different types of breast cancer. Mine, again, was triple negative. So there's different types of breast cancer that feed on the natural hormones in your body. So like estrogen, progesterone, or the HER2 protein. So when they do the biopsy, they test the cells to see if your particular cancer is feeding off of your hormones. Well, if it's not feeding off of any of those hormones or proteins, then you're diagnosed with what's called triple negative breast cancer. I mean, it's triple negative for all 3 of those. And so tamoxifen and some of those pills are for those who are positive for those hormones, where the breast cancer is feeding off of those hormones. So for those women who are triple negative, which actually triple negative breast cancer runs more common in African-American women. So for me, for being triple negative, I did not have to take any pills after I finished my treatment. So it was not going to hinder with me getting pregnant again.
Now, you survived breast cancer not once, but twice.
No, that's not me. I just survived once. I think that's
I'm sorry.
coming up next.
I apologize for that. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
I've just been through it once. Thank the Lord. And
yes.
I did have to wait a few years before we decided to have more kids, because, you want to wait to make sure the breast cancer is not going to come back.
Right.
So because if it does, then, it's harder to treat while you're pregnant, of course.
What was it like when you got that call? Excuse me. What was it like when you got that call and they said you were cancer free?
Oh my gosh. So I decided to share my cancer journey on YouTube. So as soon as I found out I had breast cancer, I was in Disney World. We're driving on the way back with my husband and my kids, and we started having a conversation about, I couldn't think of anybody other than my mom, but I couldn't think of anybody in their 30s who were young, who had breast cancer that I could talk to. And, we kind of assumed that, there are certain subjects like cancer or like divorce or, things that are taboo in the Black community.
Right.
And we was like, why is that? Why are more people talking to kind of help somebody else out who may be going through the same thing? Yeah. So, I made up in my mind to just go ahead and share my news, go ahead and share it on YouTube. And that way I'm not just helping my immediate family, but I'm helping anybody, across the world who's watching my channel. And so I decided to share it on YouTube. And, for me, that has really been a blessing, because so many people have been able to watch my story and has told me that this has really helped them. And then from there, I just decided to keep my YouTube channel. So that's why I share food and other things like that.
Can I ask what that channel is?
Yes, it's Marsha Eileen. So it's my first name and then my middle name, Eileen.
Marsha, we're so excited and so happy that you were here to share your story and put a young face on this, because I think it is, like, you're right. It's something that we think that's someone else, that's someone that's older, that's not me. And to see someone so young and beautiful and vibrant who went through it, but then got pregnant again afterwards, you not only bring awareness to this, you also bring hope.
Yes.
You also bring hope that that diagnosis is not an ending. It could be a beginning, and it looks like it is a beautiful beginning for you. And now being cancer free. So we salute you during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you are an honorary queen, of course.
Yes.
And we appreciate you so much. And we hope everyone goes to your YouTube channel to catch up with all the updates and follow your journey. I want to thank Marsha McDougal for joining us tonight and helping to shed more awareness on breast cancer awareness. Make sure to follow her on her social media. And we'll be right back. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more Cocktails with Queens. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.